Hello and welcome to another battle report. Today, the forces of the Grey Knights will face the forces of the Tallarn and the Black Templars. There is demon stuff afoot. Deep in the bowels of Mount Doom. Oh wait, no, wrong narrative. Okay, let's begin. Hello and welcome to another Scardcast Battle Report. I'm Scary, today being a little bit more laid back, got the hoodie on.
Yeah.
This is Jacob. You've seen him on the channel before with his Adeptus Mechanicus.
Yep.
And
the Edge Mech.
Archon Scary went crazy with the Huskblade and just ran around beating stuff.
Well, maybe it wasn't the best showcase, but yeah.
Today you are bringing your Grey Knights.
Yep.
Beautifully painted Grey Knight army. We'll show you the armies in a second, and they have come to hunt Imperium.
Purge. Yeah.
They're purging. The Tallarn have done something terribly wrong.
Yeah.
They've been on a crusade with the Black Templars. Lo and behold, they have incurred the wrath of the Grey Knights, none other than Castellan Crow. There must be some sort of demonic relic or something afoot.
I'd wager. Yeah.
I'd wager. Okay, so let's look at the armies and let's look at deployment and the mission. Enjoy, leave a comment, like, and stuff like that. And here we have 1,250 points of Castellan Crows. Ha ha ha. Jacob is here on the channel and he has brought gorgeously painted Grey Knight army to show off in this narrative battle report. So tell us, what have you brought today?
So it's just a battalion. It's got the two HQs. It's got Castellan Crow.
Yep.
He's personally my favorite. And then I have the I can't remember if this was a brother captain or
A captain of some sort.
yeah,
or
I think he was a grandmaster actually.
Very
But anyways,
cool.
yeah, that's the warlord. He's gonna be the warlord with the
Yep.
warlord trait that lets him reroll failed charges.
Yep.
And then for the three troops, it's two Terminator squads, one with hammer and silencer and all the staff stuff. We got three halberds and then one warding staff, and then it's just all swords, two falchions and then three swords with silencer, and then Land Raider Crusader.
Yep. Awesome. There's an incinerator in there as well.
Yeah, and then and the strikes.
Very cool. Okay, 1,250 points. Very elite army going up against forces of the Imperium. There is heresy, demons afoot. And here we have 1,250 points of Imperial forces. We start with a Black Templar battalion led by the Emperor's champion and a lieutenant. We have a Crusader squad of 7 initiates and 1 neophyte. We have a Crusader squad of 5 with bolters and 1 with a heavy bolter as well to make use of a cool stratagem. To round it off, we have 5 scouts, forward operatives with close combat weapons and bolt pistols, and a trusty rhino. Then we have a Tallarn battalion. I am working on the battalion. Please be patient as we get along. I just wanted to showcase kind of what I'm working on. We've got the senior officer, the warlord, a grand strategist, and a tank commander in his Lehman Russ exterminator. This has this model here, the Tallarn army, has a very close part in my heart. This is my dad's army essentially, and so I play it in his honor, and that's the exterminator I used to use all the time back in the day. I have 4 units of infantry. This one has a mortar and a plasma gun. This one has a mortar and a grenade launcher, and this one has a mortar and a grenade launcher as well. We also have a Taurox with double autocannon and 2 armored sentinels. They each are armed with missile launcher and hunter killer missile. As you can see there, did some conversion work there. Very pleased with how they're turning out. They haven't been primed yet because the bases are still drying. I just got them based for this battle report. 10 more infantry with a flamer. And a cool veteran sergeant over there. That's kind of like the scheme that I did back in the day. And to round it off, a mortar tank. And you can see that there's a Tallarn guy kind of manning the gun. It's a little conversion there as well. And that is 1,250 points for the battle report. The mission is deadlock. We've seen the armies that we'll be fighting, and this is the depths of an ancient imperial world. Something is buried here, has been enshrined. The Tallarn and the Black Templars have been on the look for a relic of great value and power, all of a sudden to be assailed by none other than the Grey Knights, chapter 666. Feel like we should be playing an Iron Maiden song right now. So, thanks a lot to GameMat.eu for the terrain and map. This looks absolutely fantastic. Cannot wait to start playing this game. So, we've got this area here, which was in the corridors. Areas of fire were very important, like venues of fire. This cache of ammunition is important. The burial ground itself, an ancient Lehman Russ wreck from previous fighting, another part of the pillars, and another cache of importance as well. So, with that, we begin deployment. Okay, so the battle will be played in hammer and anvil deployment. The Imperial Guard will be on this side defending the wreck, and the Grey Knights have advanced, or will begin to advance, moving that way. So, I'm going to start deploying first, and we'll go back and forth until everything is deployed. And here we see the deployment. So, my opponent had a very easy deployment. It was like 4 drops. So most of the deployment was me essentially placing an Imperial Guard and Black Templar full force. So my aim was to take up as much room as possible to create some kill zones and just stop his deep strikers from arriving in my backfield. Thankfully, with all the infantry squads, that was relatively easy. However, I did leave the flank with the little Black Templar unit open, sort of like bait, to see if he would jump in with some Terminators. Okay, and deployment is done. So the Grey Knights have, of course, deep struck both units of Terminators and the Grandmaster. And then we've got a Land Raider bearing down the middle of the battlefield with the Strike Squad and Castle and Crow. So he's come to investigate, only to find the Templars and the Imperial Guard amongst the ancient ruins, ready to fend them off under some spell or something. So Castle and Crow is now ready to purge. So it is deadlock. So first turn we get 6 objective cards, and then we go down. Person with most points at the end wins. I've deployed 5 Black Templars with Heavy Bolter. The every time I try and say his name, I forget what it's called. 10 Guardsmen, 10 Guardsmen, 10 Guardsmen, 10 Guardsmen in there with a Flamer and a Priest. The Emperor's Champion, Lieutenant, 7 Initiates and 1 Neophyte in there. The Tank Commander here. And that's it. Oh, it's a Wyvern. Haha, that's what it's called. And then I've used 3 command points to put the Sentinels in ambush. And thanks to my Grand Strategist, I only used 1 command point. Sneaky Scouts have decided to get all the way at the end there and be sneaky that way. Okay, so the Grey Knights get +1 because they're a very elite army. And let's see who gets to go first. I rolled a 3. Oh, that's a draw. That means you get to go first. And I'm going to try and seize the initiative. Do I? No, another 3. So with that, it is Grey Knights turn 1. Enjoy the game, sir. And we begin with your 6 drawn cards. Okay, they're just the regular cards?
Yeah. First 3.
Okay, so 6 cards. Assassinate, kill a character. Defend objective 6, which just happens to be the reliquary. Advance. Oh, he's going to be able to do that, which is great. Get out of your deployment zone with 1 unit. Kill something in shooting. Defend objective 3, which just happens to be back here. That's actually perfect. And secure 3. Wow, all cards that you can get. Maybe not assassinate, but you can start that one. You can get that one. You can potentially get that one. And you can definitely get these or that one and then start that one. Wow, that is a good start for the Grey Knights. So Grey Knight turn 1 was relatively simple. Move Land Raider forward and blow smoke. And there we move on.
Where's your character again?
Okay, so the Grey Knights, knowing that advance will be harder later in the game, have decided to play conservatively. They've moved up the Land Raider Crusader, have blown smoke to prevent me from doing much damage in return, and have gained advance. It's very hard for me to get first blood because I don't have any melt guns or anything like that, so it's just a bunch of just strength 4. So I might do some damage, but now it's -1 to hit and advance, and then next turn all the Terminators and stuff show up, and they can show up anywhere on the board. So he's playing for the long game. Let's see what objectives I get. Okay, so High Command has given me Defend Objective 5, which just happens to be the one that these guys are on. Yes, very thematic. And Jacob did cut my deck. So, Area Denial. I score a point if there's nobody within 6 inches of the center of the board. I have to measure that, but I don't think I'm going to get that one. Blood and Guts. Kill something in close combat. Okay. Secure Objective 2. Okay, that one back there. Okay, so that's going to be doable. Defend Objective 1, which is this one back here. Nigh impossible. And Supremacy, hold any 3 objectives. So I will be getting Supremacy. I'm going to spend 2 command points, my friends. So 2 command points. My Grand Strategist is going to see if I get them back. I spend 1 command point. So I go down to 11. To redraw Defend 1 because that one is pointless. Okay. Because those scouts are going to die terribly. Secure 1. Oh, that's better. At least I don't have to hold it for a turn. That's just add insult to injury. Get over there, they say. Okay, fine. Okay, moving on to the first turn. So my first turn was about creating a bit of a buffer, knowing that his deep strikers were going to come in. It was about keeping a big blob of infantry in cover, knowing that they would take up most of the firepower, and then moving the Rhino into a central position to threaten the central objective as well. Okay, Imperial turn 1. So I have moved up. We've created more space. The Black Templars are here ready to jump in on the middle if Castellan Crow gets out of his fancy ride. The Scouts are advancing as fast as they can to objective number 1 and to claim Linebreaker if they're not dealt with. I had the Priest and the 10 guys get out of the transport, and I blobbed the 2 infantry units together into a giant blob. Gave them take aim, and then combination shooting. Also did an aerial spotter on the Hydra thingy, and I gave him gunner's kill on sight, so reroll 1s. So essentially everything shot at the one thing I could shoot, and I put 5 wounds on it. Yeah, and that was it. Most of the wounds were done by that heavy bolter that used a Hellfire round, and he put 3 mortal wounds, but I had to spend a reroll to get it done. So with that, I have secured objective 2. I did take Supremacy. So Supremacy is for D3 points. For 3 points. Oh my goodness, that was a good Supremacy. And I'm currently defending objective 5. And I'm going to get rid of Area Denial. Why? Because I think there's going to be a lot of Grey Knights in the middle of the board soon. Yeah. And with that, you still have 5 cards in your hand, or do you have? No, you should have. You redrew 1, right?
Yeah. You
drew 1 more. What did you get this time? You should have 4 in your hand because you had advance and you got rid of 1, and you redraw 1 card to get.
So I'll redraw 1.
Yep.
Okay. Defend objective
objective 1. Back here. Okay.
Yeah. So everybody wants.
So everybody wants that crater. Apparently, that stash of little things is really important. Okay, so let's continue in the ruins as we move into turn 2. So we move on to Grey Knight turn 2, and he decides to bring in his Terminators. Now I feel he would have done better bringing them in on the first turn to capture some of the objectives, so he would be able to draw more cards. However, he got really aggressive with one unit, putting them right in my deployment zone, and then he got really defensive with another unit that had gate in order to stop my scouts from coming to his backfield. Was this a mistake? Okay, the Grey Knights have really come down, put some pain on me. So these Grey Knights have come down to start holding this objective. They also have gate, so they can kind of move back if they need to. They killed 3 of the scouts because the scouts were hugging cover for dear life. Over here, the strike squad got out. They're starting to defend objective 6. They got with Crow. Combined with the Land Raider Crusader, all the Stormbolters killed a lot of these guys. I am forced to use 2 command points to keep them in the fight. But taking cover really helped them. And then the Grandmaster and the other unit of Terminators came on this flank, fired into the Black Templars, killed 3 together with some smites thanks to good cover saves as they ducked into the crater, and they failed their charge into the crater. He has started defending 2 objectives. That's 4 points up for grabs. I successfully defended objective 5. So we're moving on to turn 2 for the Astra Militarum and Black Templars. And I get, I still have Secure 1 and Blood and Guts, which is kill something in combat. And I get to draw 3 more cards. Secure objective 3, they have said, which is that one over there. Overkill, which is an Astra Militarum one. If a vehicle kills something, I get a point. Okay. And advance. Get everybody out of my deployment zone. Don't think I want to get out of my deployment zone right now. My high command, I must deny your request. Okay, moving on to the next turn. So this turn was me setting up some bait. First and foremost, I screened the Grandmaster and the Grey Knight Terminators, but I moved my scouts aggressively towards the deployment zone instead of trying to keep them alive. I was hoping that next turn he would use his Terminators to move and target them. Meanwhile, in the center, everybody got out of the Rhino and got ready to clear out, purify, let's say, some purifiers. Turn 2 for the Astra Militarum Black Templars. I have cleansed the center of the board. Well, cleansed the center of the board from the Grey Knights. I did get Blood and Guts. I killed 2 units in close combat. I secured objective 3 with my ambushing armored sentinels, but the sentinels failed to do any damage against the Terminators with their rocket launchers. I am not securing objective 1. I did not score overkill, and I did not score advance. So out of all of these, I'm going to get rid of advance because getting out of my deployment zone is going to be nigh impossible. And I'm going to be scoring those 2 points. So what happened? I moved up. I blobbed up the next unit of 10 with the remnants of the 20. And then I did first rank, second rank fire, and essentially focused most of my fire on the strike squad that was in cover. Killed all but 1, then the charge, I finally was able to kill them with the charge. I also was able to tie up the Land Raider Crusader in combat. I also gave these guys first rank, second rank fire. They almost killed a Terminator, but Jacob re-rolled an armor save because he didn't want a Terminator to die to last gun shots. And the Heavy Bolter used a Hellfire Shell again. Did 3 mortal wounds, but a stratagem to ignore mortal wounds, which is pretty cool, was used, and it ignored 2 out of the 3 mortal wounds. The scouts continue to run this way to get to objective 1, but he does defend objective 1 successfully at the end of the turn as well. Sadly, he loses defend objective 6 at the moment. So going on to turn 3.
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
Yep, turn 3 for me.
Turn 3? Yeah. Turn 2. Your turn 2.
No, these guys came in last turn, so that was turn 2.
I guess
then,
that's
yeah,
true.
turn
All right,
one,
turn 1 didn't really happen too much. Yeah.
Nothing really
Cool.
happened.
Okay, so just to make things clear, it was my turn 3, so I should only have 4 objective cards. Overkill was the last objective card that I drew. So technically that's on the top of my deck right now. So I can't even get rid of it at the moment. So I'm going to get rid of Advance. I scored 2. And now we move on to turn 3. And he's going to have 4 cards in his hand. So he's not going to be able to draw any. He has to fight for the ones that he has at the moment. So moving on to the next turn. The Land Raider being stuck in combat is a big deal. But the Warlord and his Terminators are going to start sweeping around the flank. Let's see if we can stem the tide of Grey Knight goodness, because those Stormbolters sting like a mother trucker. Okay, on to the next turn. Having the Land Raider in close combat was a big pitfall from now on for the Grey Knights, not being able to allow the Land Raider from shooting. It also meant that he did take the bait with the scouts. Instead of grabbing his Terminators and gating them up towards the center of the objective, or screening his Land Raider, or forcing my hand, he used an entire unit of Terminators to kill 2 scouts. And I feel that was the main part of the game that changed the entire of the outcome. Had he had other Terminators, it could have gone differently. Okay. So the Terminators killed the scout. The Land Raider fell back from combat. The Terminators moved up, shot into the squad of Imperial Guard. I did take cover, so he was forced to charge in. He failed to charge with his Terminators and passed the charge with his Warlord, who then piled into the Templars. The Templars put 1 more wound on him. So he's down to 4 wounds left on his Warlord and did not get any points this turn. So what card are you discarding?
I'm going to discard Defend Objective.
Defend Objective 6, yeah, because I'm holding the middle of the table. I still have Secure Objective 1, so we'll see if that Rhino can move and advance up there. And I get 2 more cards, because I'm not going to mess it up this time. So I get Overkill, because that was on the top of the stack. And I get Defend Objective 4, which happens to be this one, which is quite handy, considering that is the flank that I can protect. Now, they have gates, so they can jump over here at any time, so I have to be careful. Let's move on to the next turn. So in my turn, it was time to capitalize on my opponent's mistake. Turn 3, I had to move forward and target his Grand Master that was at the front of his entire army. Wasn't really able to do much with the Terminators, once again baiting that unit of Terminators with the 2 Black Templars I had left on the far flank in the crater, hoping that he would use that whole unit just to wipe out 2 Marines. Okay, end of turn 4. I almost killed the commander. He passed lots of feel no pains to stay alive. The armored sentinels in the corner killed one of the Terminators over here, and I tied up the Land Raider again. While he did a Tallarn order, so he shot and then he could move, and he killed 2 of the Terminators and put a wound on another one with his Exterminator autocannon. Meanwhile, the giant blob reroll 1s to hit and did plasma death on that guy, as well as the griffin thingy. Okay, so moving on to the end of the turn. I have not secured Objective 1. I did not get Overkill, and I'm starting to defend Objective 4, and I will get rid of Secure Objective 1 because it looks futile to try and go all the way to the back. Okay, moving on to Grey Knight, turn 4. They have Secure and Defend 3, which is probably not going to happen, and Overwhelming Firepower. So kill something in shooting, that could happen since I have 2 Black Templars just sitting there waiting to get shot. So now 1 turn too late. He did gate the Terminators over to the Sentinels on the other flank to try and take Objective 3, something that should have been done earlier in the game. The Land Raider was useless, and now his Grey Knight Grandmaster and his Terminators were outmatched and isolated from the rest of the army. Okay, so end of Grey Knight turn, I want to say 4?
Yeah.
Is that 4?
I'd say that was true.
Yeah. So turn 4. I do get Defend Objective at the end, and I still have Overkill. He did kill the Black Templars were shooting, so they're dead. The Land Raider has fallen back. Games Workshop, if you watch this, please give Land Raiders a fall back and shoot mechanic. They gated over here to try and take Objective 3 and charge the Sentinels, but they failed their charge even with a mighty reroll. So moving on to turn 5, could be the end of the game. I currently have Overkill, and I get one more card, which is Regimental Pride. Score point if an enemy character was slain as a result of an attack made by one of your characters. So I'm going to try and kill the character with my character. Perfect. Okay, perfect. Let's move on to the next. This fourth turn was essentially the coup de grace, killing the captain or the Grandmaster in close combat with my company commander with his relic sword, which was really fun, a really fun moment. And then tagging up the Land Raider yet again. Lo and behold, it was just too much for the Grey Knights to handle, and that would have been game 5. The Leman Russ killed the last of the Terminators, giving me overkill, and Regimental Pride happened. He passed all his invulnerable saves from shooting, but in combat, my company commander charged in with his relic, the Claw of the Desert Tigers, which is a 2 damage power sword that gives him an extra 2 attacks in combat. And he got 1 through the invulnerable save and took the last wound off the Grey Knight Grandmaster. And with that, there's 3 Terminators left on the board. I've tagged the Land Raider up again. That is game.
Good game.
It's very early in the morning. We're going to call it. Thanks a lot for watching, guys. Leave a comment down below. Huge shout out to gamemat.eu for sending the terrain. This looks awesome. It was really fun to play on. I loved it. It's great. We put it up as like a cool little thing set here. It's really neat. And we'll be back with an after action report. Okay, so that is the after action report, and I am here, Scary. So we had to finish the video, and I lost the clip from the end of the game, so I'm kind of redoing one here. As you can see, I'm editing the video for the battle report. But that game was really fun. You know, the Grey Knights kind of got absolutely slaughtered. There was a few things that I would have done differently had I been the Grey Knight player, but my opponent is learning how to play more. You know, he's very big into the hobby aspect. But meantime, I got really excited about doing some work with the Tallarn. So what I've been doing is I've been doing some dry brushing and whatnot. So I just wanted to kind of show off a little bit of the work, since I'm quite excited about what you're going to get to see, essentially. Some dry brushing. I'm using XV88, and then it's going on to Tallarn sand, essentially. But yeah, just kind of inspired me to work a little bit on the Imperial side of the armies. So thanks a lot for watching. Leave a comment down below. A huge shout out to all the Patreons to the channel. You guys make this possible. Thank you so much. I'm going to be going to Croatia soon, and in the ETC, and this weekend is the Tabletop Gaming Expo, so I'm very excited. I'm playing in doubles with Diogo, which is going to be good. And then in the singles, I'm TOing the event. But if you have any questions, comments, concerns, leave a comment down below. Share the video if you like the content, and if you want to become a Patreon too, the link is in the description. Help me create more content like this so I can dedicate time and effort and funds to it. That's it. I'm Scary, your grateful host, signing off until the next battle report, tactical video, unit by unit, or other video. Till next time. Scary out.